recovery coaches at Capital Recovery Center.
My name is Karen, and I'm also a Capital Recovery Coach.
Oh man, it feels awesome to be able to be back and be doing what I have been called to do. I'm always excited about talking about all things recovery, and to be doing Capital Recovery meetings or coffee and conversation or all recovery meetings or anything dealing with something with substance use disorder. I am excited about doing it. Today, we're going to talk about how to find balance in addiction recovery. We're going to discuss how to find balance in addiction recovery. And this is a very important topic, not just in addiction recovery, but overall we have to find balance. Because when our lives are not have a balanced lifestyle, we can find ourselves in a lot of bad situations. So today we're going to just discuss a few things. If you want to add some things or call in or put some comments in there, we'll discuss anything that you might have. So with that, we're going to have Ms. Karen start off reading, and we'll go back and forth with the things that will drop on our heart to share in regards to finding balance in addiction recovery.
Okay, it says, for any individual who has suffered from drug or alcohol addiction, finding balance can be key to achieving long-term recovery, but it can also pose a heavy challenge. Addiction is a disease that greatly involves being off balance, extreme highs as well as extreme lows, obsessing over a certain activity or drug of choice while paying little attention to things like family or work. In active addiction, the scales are often tipped far to one side of the scale, creating a lack of balance for both the individual struggling with the drugs as well as families, friends, and spouses.
Nice. Okay, let's see what we got here. There's a few different things that jumped out to me when she was reading this first paragraph. One of them is finding balance can be key to achieving long-term recovery. Finding the balance. You have to actually, some things, every person who struggles with a substance use disorder or some type of issues in that same field, you have to find the balance. And what I mean by that is some people, just because they have a substance use disorder, may not be bad fathers. I'm going to use a male. The male may not be a bad father. He just has a substance use disorder. And then you might have another male who's actually is not good or is still in the development stage of being a father. The person who is not bad at being a father doesn't need to try to balance that because the person he in the group with needs to balance that. You have to find out, what do you need to balance? What needs to be balanced in your individual life? Also, addiction is a disease that greatly involves being off balance. It will knock you completely off balance. So don't be shocked if you can't try to put things in order. That's what the substance use does. It makes everything out of whack. What else I wanted to see? Individuals struggling with drugs as well, creating a lack of balance for both the individuals that's struggling with drugs as well as family, friends, and spouses. This is a universal thing. One of the most craziest statements that I ever made or used to make was, I'm only hurting me. Whenever I did some type of drugs or did some type of alcohol or committed some type of crime, I always made the statement, I'm only hurting me. But realistically, everybody that's attached to you are being hurt by the things that you are doing. So it's not just affecting you, even though you're the person with the substance use disorder, it's affecting everybody who is connected to you.
Yeah, and I have to say, I'm not in recovery, but I do have a family member who is in recovery, and just like the person themselves are off balance, being a family member also throws you off balance, because you kind of have to work around this person to make sure, you're not being affected and affecting the person, with your moods and your behaviors as well.
You could. I didn't know this at the time, but my wife, when I would come home from a rehabilitation center, my wife was off balance because she didn't know, exactly like Miss Karen just said, she didn't know if she said something would trigger me to go back and do it. And I didn't know that. I was like, what do you mean? What would she say? I didn't know if I say this and get you mad, will you go use? So she was off balance and she was not using anything. So that's why we're telling you, just like she said, she didn't have the particular issue with a substance use, but the family member who had the issue also made her be unbalanced. Like, what? Can I say something? Because my wife was so fearful at that time to even correct me or confront me about something. Because she like, if I say this, will it make him, or at least, let me tell you, nothing can make me do drugs. I make the decision to do it. I might use that as my excuse why I did it. But ultimately, the person who used is the person that made the decision to go do it. But my wife didn't understand that at that time, just like she probably didn't understand that at the time. If I'm going to do it, trust me, I'm going to do it. You can go.
All right, so it says, you see, addiction is a disease that continually demands more. More happiness, more fun, more excitement, more pleasure, more love, more feel good.
It demands more. No matter what substance or whatever your issue may be, it will always require more. You can be as high as you can possibly get. It will still want you to get more. More happiness, more fun, more excitement, more pleasure, more love, more feel good. It always craves and it always calls for you to feed it more. It never be satisfied. It's never satisfied. So you have to remember that whatever the situation is, it's no you've reached that point where if you have enough money or you have enough drugs to feed whatever addiction it is, it will always require more. You will always want more.
All right. It says individuals who suffer from addiction find themselves wanting to experience only the good and discover ways through drugs and alcohol to numb the bad. Life revolves around substances that seem to protect them from pain.
Oh my goodness. This is so good. Listen, life, when you are addicted to something, your life revolves around the substances that seem to protect you from pain. But this is the craziest part about it. I'm telling you from personal experience. I thought that the substance was protecting me from my pain. But what shocked me at that time was after I came down off the high, the thing that put me in pain was still there. So it didn't actually go away. It was still there. Not only was it still there, check me out, listen. I actually put myself in a worse situation than when I went in before. Because now I spent the money that was for rent. Now I stole things out of my house. So my life was completely out of balance. I did not have a balance. And when you're actively using, trying to put your life in that balance is going to take you to make the connection with people like us, recovery coaches, mentors, sponsors, going to meetings. You need help to get your life back in balance. It's okay to ask for help. It will always seem like, no, for sure, it won't seem like. Your life will when your life of addiction, you will have your own little circle or your own little world. In your world, you won't go outside of that particular circle. Anything that takes you outside of that circle is subject to be cursed out or moved out the way or neglected, because you have this perfect little world that I'm not going outside of this world at all.
It's funny because this person just recently told me, I used to live in a world of illusion, and you need to help me know what's reality or not, because to me everything is, he's like, I don't know the difference anymore.
Yeah,
and I didn't see it that way. And I was like, wow, like, okay.
Yeah, because when we're thinking about a balanced life, when a person is actively using, I don't care what the substance is, everything revolves around their little. They have a world that's. I'm not going outside of this world. I remember when I was actively doing crack, I never wanted to go anywhere where I couldn't purchase it. Just in case I wanted to do it, I'm like, no, I can't go there. And they was like, well, we can go to this event. I'm like, no. They're like, why? In my head, I'm saying, don't nobody get over there get high. Like I'm like, no, I'm not going. We're going to what? A family event. I'm like, no, I'm not going. They're like, why? It's going to be all the family. And I'm saying, there's absolutely nobody in that circle that does drugs. So that was my world. When you do that, your substance is trying to use your substance to protect you from your pain. But it's not realistic. That's the criminal or the addictive brain telling you that no matter what pain you're going through, this substance will protect you from it. But on another side, also, that became your best friend. The drug became your best friend. So when the drug becomes your best friend, telling somebody, yo, just stop doing it. So you want me to just quit my best friend? Stop being. That's not real. That's not realistic either. That's why it's called a process of recovery.
It says, once a person who struggled with addiction begins their journey to recovery, it's important to understand that a life of balance will help keep the highs and lows in check, without the assistance of a substance. It's important to understand that no one can avoid painful feelings and memories, and that intensifying good feeling through substance isn't healthy. Running from feelings is no longer an option in recovery.
It is so much right here that I got to pull over, pause, and park. Listen, she said, once a person who is struggling with a substance use disorder begins their journey, key number one, it's going to be a journey. It's not a one-time event. When you're trying to find balance in addiction recovery, first thing you must process in your head is it's going to be a journey. I was talking to someone, they called me like last week, I can't remember, a week or two ago. Anyway, this particular person was in Pennsylvania, and I was able to help this person on their road to recovery. But they called me, and what their petition was, or what their complaint was, they said, man, I'm calling you, Mr. Mike, and I just need to tell you, all this stuff is not happening exactly like I wanted to happen. I said, oh, really? I said, so what you expect? Everything to just fall down because you got some clean time? And he says, yeah. I said, seriously? I said, I thought he was joking. I was like, seriously? He said, yeah, I've been clean this long and everything is not going. I said, no, I taught you about you must have endurance. Everything is not going to be a cakewalk. Remember, you didn't get to the place where you are overnight. It took a journey. So when you're trying to develop your recovery on the opposite side, likewise, it will be a journey. Another thing, it says it's important to understand that a life of balance will help keep the highs and lows in check. Another place where you have to process and understand. You will have highs and you will have lows. Don't let these things shock you. If you're trying to live a balanced life of recovery, you will have highs and you will have lows. But don't let this shock you. Don't even let this next statement shock you, what I'm about to say. People who have never experienced a substance use disorder also have highs and they also have lows. So you are not exempt. They are not exempt. This is called life. It's life. Don't let the highs and the lows discourage you. You just got to understand that the person that walking past you has experienced similar things like you, even if they did not have a substance use disorder or not. Finding balance in addiction recovery is a process, is a journey. You're going to have highs. You're going to have lows. But let this be a learning lesson for you today. Everybody has highs and everybody has lows. running from feelings is no longer an option in recovery. I have a saying that I have eliminated that option. Somebody always asks me, so you saying that you will never use drugs again? I always give them this same answer. I have eliminated that option, meaning it's no possible way. That option is not on my table. If I get mad, will I use? No. If I lose my job, will I use? No. If this happened in these relationships, will I use? No. It's not even an option. You have to eliminate. You can't run from your feelings and run back to the substance that you used to use. Because no matter what made you want to go use it, even after you use, the feelings are still there.
That's
You
right.
have to use your resources that you have in your life and tap into them. Just reach out to somebody. At Capital Recovery Center, we're recovery coaches. You can always come call us 856-391-7449 or 1-888-236.
No, it's 1-800.
1-800-236-2838. 1-800-236-3828. Also, you can call the cell phone 856
I don't know my cell phone number.
506 me even 1573 856-506-1573.
Or 856-506-1638. I think that's my
Yeah, that's yours. We got new cell phones numbers, so y'all can always contact us anytime you need to. All right, what we got next?
It says, in early recovery, some people may miss the extremes they experience while using. Recovery doesn't have to be boring.
It does not have to be boring. It is so much exciting living the life different from the life I used to live. That's what I simply call recovery, or that's what recovery means to me, is living a life different from the life you used to live. And it is not boring. I have so much fun. This year has been my 12th year. 12th year since I used something, some type of substance use disorder, some type of substance. It's been 12 years. And I'm having the joy of my life. And exactly, recovery is just fun. You find new things to do. You realize that you had things that you had dreamed of. I just did it. I always, when I was a kid, my parents wasn't as fortunate financially. They did their great part. I'm not complaining. But I always wanted a remote control truck, a car. And for Christmas this year, I got a remote control. My wife said, hey, look. I said, really? I'm 49 years old and I'm still got excited about a remote control car. What am I saying? It's fun. I'm like 49 years old. Did I actually need it? No. Did I love it? Absolutely. Can't wait to go home and play with it tonight. I can't believe it. But there's things that you probably always wanted to do, and addiction robs you from that stuff. It's never too late to be or enjoy those things, even if you got kids. You should have seen my grandkids. When they came over, they thought it was theirs. But whatever.
They're fighting for a toy.
And it was mine.
Alright, so here are 7 ways to keep your life in balance. Number 1 is understand finding balance is a process. Learning to live in recovery will take time, and your life will never be fully balanced.
Yeah.
Rather than obsessing and striving for perfection, consider striving for progress.
Understand finding balance is what we have just been discussing, a process. Learning to live in recovery will take time. Don't rush it. It will take time. You have to learn how to live in recovery. Rather than assessing and striving for perfection, consider striving for progress. No matter, I had to, came down with COVID, and my breathing, just to be able to be talking to you right now, but my breathing was so bad where I couldn't get words out. So I realized that it was going to be, instead of me striving to get it all the way back, I had to go through the process of Okay, try to speak 5 words, 6 words, 7. Then when I got some out, I was like, oh, I'm getting better. And I'm not always there where I used to be, but it's progress. You know, so it's progress. It's the same way with your recovery. You have to understand finding balance is a process. It's going to take some time for you to balance out your life after you have destroyed it and after you have went through all you have went through. Just relax. Don't worry about it. Just get a little bit at a time. If your family was restored, that's all right. First, worry about building up you first. Then you can worry about repairing all those things.
That's right. Number 2 is find small accomplishments. Breaking up life's daily tasks into small, manageable steps can help you find both balance and a sense of accomplishment. When an individual is in early recovery, it may seem as though there is a large amount of damage to clean up, whether it be finances, relationships, employment. Building a sober life means taking things day by day, task by task, and recognizing the accomplishments along the way.
Find small accomplishment. Breaking up life's daily tasks into small, manageable steps. Find little things when you're trying to prepare a balanced lifestyle or recover or restore a balanced lifestyle in addiction and recovery. You have to find small things that you used to do. I remember a guy gave his testimony. He was sharing about how his life had changed after we have been talking to him and everything. And he made this statement. He said, one day I woke up, Mr. Mike, and I just decided that I wasn't going to do this no more. He didn't know how his life was going to turn out. He just had made up his mind that this one particular thing, actually it was cigarettes. He said, I just made up my mind that day, I'm going to just stop smoking cigarettes today. And that was just, it seemed like it was nothing, but it propelled him into something greater. It propelled him into something that it was a small thing that turned into something major. And also, you got to remember, find small accomplishments. This weekend, we had, one time my wife and I went to the high school to speak to the kids at the Cumberland Regional High School. And they had a particular area of the high school where the kids were. They had classes where kids were having a little trouble in school. They was having a little trouble. So they put them in this, they was at this meeting, but they were sitting with a group of people with like somebody watching them or monitoring them. And I was like, why are they sitting over there? And they said these people had a little bit of trouble in school. So they said, okay. But anyway, this weekend, we knew about this one particular kid that had this particular job years ago. So when my wife was going in the store, I said, I wonder how the young guy is doing. And she said, I don't know if he's still here or not. She went in. He was still there. She FaceTimed him and said, he's still working here. The kid that they thought was going to be a bad kid, so to speak. Mm-hmm. So he started out just cleaning up this particular place. And my wife made this statement to him. If you keep sticking it out like that, you're going to mess around and be the manager. And he said, I am the manager. Oh. And I said, wow. She said, he's the manager of the store now. And why am I saying that? Find small accomplishments. You have to find small accomplishments. He started at one place. A couple of years later, we went back to this store. This young man is the manager of the store. That is very important in your recovery. You have to break up your life daily tasks into small, manageable steps. Little steps will lead to major accomplishments.
Number 3, it says create a schedule. Developing a realistic daily or weekly schedule can help to reduce anxiety and the feeling of being overwhelmed. Writing tasks down a day or two ahead of time can help to unclog all the scattered thoughts in your head and focus on what you really need and want to accomplish. This is a great way to bring balance to your life.
Welcome everyone.
Hello.
How you doing? Thanks for joining the meeting. Hi, Miss Robin. Where we at?
Creating a schedule.
Okay, developing a realistic schedule or weekly schedule can help you reduce anxiety. I'm very punctual. If I have to be somewhere, I like to be outside that particular place at least 15 minutes before I actually have to go in there. I have a schedule in my phone. I have a schedule at home. I have tasks that I want to accomplish throughout my day or throughout my week or throughout the month. Because I'm a public speaker and I write books, I'm often having engagement to go do certain things. But I just don't wing it. I create a schedule when I'm going to do it. In the life of recovery, you have to create a schedule of your time. Don't just go on here, going there, doing this and doing this. Create some type of schedule where you know what you're going to be doing. And also put on your schedule rest. A lot of times we so doing everything, you have to find time to rest, to recharge yourself. Even if you're not doing anything, there's many times in my life now that we find time to rest. It was the other week, this weekend, it was beautiful outside. And my wife came home on Saturday. She said, it's beautiful outside. Let's go do something. We got in the car. We went to one stop and came back home. That wasn't in our schedule. Rest was in our schedule. It wasn't going to go do something. So make sure you write tasks down day or two ahead of time. Can help to unclog all the scattered thoughts in your head. Write them down and figure out what you want to do.
Definitely provides a lot of structure, because I know I do that, and a lot of things that you do while in recovery. Honestly, I try to apply to my life, and I'm not in recovery, so I mean, to me, it's creating a schedule. It helps me get my priorities straight and focus on what I need to get done, so that I'm not putting things off.
Yeah, that's me too. I gotta have a schedule of what we need to do, and sometimes you get thrown off schedule. I might be on the route to go do something, or you might be going to do something. You might get a flat tire. Right. You be like, man, this is not in my schedule.
Number 4 says, take care of your body. When you were in active addiction, you may have put off certain things such as dentist appointments, yearly physicals, or even physical activity altogether. Focusing on well-being and healing goes beyond sobriety. It means treating yourself and your body in a healthy manner. Take time for your health.
Taking care of your body. When you were actively in your addiction, you may have put off certain tasks such as dentist appointment. This is another thing. When you're actively using, when you get in recovery or you're in your recovery path and you get a cold, let's say you get a cold or something, you often hear somebody who just started their recovery process, I haven't had a cold in a while. But actually you did. But the drug took over your life so much so that the cold or going to the doctor for the cold did not matter. Everybody has experienced some type of sickness when they were actively using. But the drug overrode anything. Now you in recovery, you got to remember, take control, take care of your body. I often used to tell my clients when I was doing counseling and interning to go get physicals. They'll say, I asked them, when the last time you went to the doctor? They say, I haven't been sick. It's not, going to get a physical is not only when you get sick. You go to the doctors, you can do it 6 months, twice out a year, or whatever you feel is needed. Taking care of your body. If you don't feel something, a lot of times people wait till they feel something to go to the doctors. That's not actually a good way to do it. You can actually go before you feel something, and the doctor might have some type of medication or a strategy to help you prevent something that's coming down the path. Taking care of your body is very important. That's a balanced life you need to definitely put in your balanced life.
Yeah, don't wait until it's too late.
Yeah, please don't. Because now, with so much technology and the experience and the way the world has been evolving about knowledge and understanding and science about stuff, and they almost got something for everything now. Like, you just got to at least go check it out.
Don't put up a front. Creating a balance in your social life means not pretending to have it all together. If you are struggling, talk to someone. If you're having a bad day, don't try to be a social butterfly. There's no need to try to keep up with others' expectations.
Don't put on the front. I often say, ask for help. If you're in trouble, ask for help. Don't put up a front and say nothing's wrong. Creating a balance in your social life means not pretending you have it all together. It's okay. Just simply ask for help. When you need to ask for help, ask for help. No matter if you don't have the right person to go to at that particular time, again, Capital Recovery Center, where you have recovery coaches, you can always reach out to us, and if you need some help, and we can direct you in the path that you need to go if we can't provide you with the services that you may need. But you must ask for help. Don't pretend that you have it all together. It's okay to ask for help. There's no need to try to keep up with other expectations. And a lot of times when people fall or slip, relapse, whatever you want to call it, they never reach out and ask for help. So many of the people that I mentor outside of Capital Recovery Center, I always tell them, if you had my number to call me when you messed up, you could have called me before. All you had to do was ask for help. There's no judgment zone here. We don't judge here. We just need you to reach out and ask us for help so we can try to help you whatever situation you have.
It says, create a budget. In active addiction, chances are you spent quite a bit of money on drugs and alcohol. Now that you're no longer shelling it out on substances, you have the opportunity to save. Creating a realistic budget will not only alleviate financial stress, but set up for a more stable future.
Good thing. Create a budget. Now that you are no longer shelling it off on substances, you have a lot more money. You got a lot of stuff you can do. It's very important now, because before you didn't have these finances to be able to do what you wanted to do. You're not using now you got more money. What that means is you need to create a budget. Don't just go spend it because you got more money on all things that you want to do. Save your money. No longer, you have the opportunity to save. Save. You can save now like never before, man. It's awesome, but you have to create a budget. A lot of times, if you go to someone from personal experience, a lot of times, let's say you get 100% of your check after you take all the stuff that comes out, the money you have this percent. A lot of people try to live off of the 100%. It's a good idea to try to live off of the 80%, try to save 10%, 5%, any percent you want to save. But most people go in debt or they have problems because they don't create a budget and they try to live off the 80%. Never try to, or the 100%. Never try to live off the 100% of the income that you bring home. Create a budget. You're not using now. You're trying to make a balance in recovery.
Yeah, and a person once told me to put yourself as a bill, like paying yourself.
Good idea.
And that's like paying your savings.
Yeah.
So ever since I was told that, I have done that, and
yeah.
I know I have to put in a certain amount every time, and it's been working for me, and so you can do that as well. Yeah,
that's a good idea. I'm gonna steal that from her. I'm gonna give her credit the first time I tweet it. But anyway, pay yourself. Even if you pay yourself a certain amount, pay yourself. That's a bill you pay. That's a great strategy, because you have to remember that if you use all of your income, especially when you're no longer using, you're going to have more finances. And if you're trying to make a balance or live a balanced life, you're going to have to create a budget. And lastly,
ask for help. Learning to experience your emotions in a sober state will take time. Keep in mind that it is okay to ask for help from others who have experienced this process. Connecting with others in recovery and asking for help when you need it will help you deal with life on life's terms.
Ask for help. We was talking about that earlier, and it was talking about don't put up a front. This is another thing we need to ask for help. Help is very important. You need to reach out and ask for help. There's no need for you to sit there when you have people out here in Cumberland County or any other counties that will help you with your recovery process. However, A person cannot help you if you never ask them for help. Again, we were simply trying to give you some points, tips, principles, if you will, about how to find balance in addiction recovery. And we gave y'all the 7 keys ways was understanding, finding balance is a process, find small accomplishments, taking care, I'm going to do them over. Understand, finding balance is a process, find small accomplishments, create a schedule, take care of your body, don't put on the front, create a budget, and ask for help. Again, my name is Michael Williams. I'm one of the recovery coaches at Capital Recovery Center.
I'm Karen. I'm also a Capital Recovery Coach. And we're missing Mr. Craig.
Yes, Mr. Craig.
Here next week.
Again, if you need to reach out to us, is at 856-391-7449. You can call us anytime you want. My cell number is 856-506-1863. And Karen's is 856-506-1658. Again, thank y'all for tuning in for Coffee and Conversation. We will be back Thursday at 1 p.m. with all recovery meeting. Thank y'all for tuning in, and we will see you guys later.
Thank you.
Thank you.